Hello, this is Roger Shouse, and this is Jumpstart Rewind. This is part of our Heaven Bound podcast family. We're glad to have you back with us. Revelation 15, verse 1. Then I saw another sign in heaven, great and marvelous, 7 angels who had 7 plagues, which are the last, because in them the wrath of God is finished. Our verse today, nearing the end of this great visionary message for the suffering saints, introduces the 7 bowls of wrath, which will be poured out in the next chapter of Revelation. The bowls represent God's wrath. God's judgment is righteous, and the wicked, as the text says, they deserve it. God was lowering the boom on the wicked who have afflicted and killed the righteous of God. The angels pouring these bowls come straight from God's presence in the temple of the tabernacle, or we'd call it the most holy. The pain suffered by these various bowls of wrath was intense. The sun would scorch them. Waters would become like blood. They would gnaw their tongues because of the pain. Chapter 16 ends with these words, its plague was extremely severe. Reading through this, most would think how terrible all this is. Yet our verse, the chapter describes this great sign as marvelous. It would be terrible for those who followed the beast. It would be horrific for those who punished the saints of God. But for God's people, this is an answer to prayer. This is justice deserved. This is victory in heaven. It is marvelous, as the text says. Immediately, we ought to notice a few lessons here. First, the world and the Lord do not see things the same way. These plagues would be devastating to the ungodly, yet to God's people, they are marvelous. But it's more than just this. What the world calls success is defined in money, name brands, popularity, and fame. God considers success as the one who walks with him. A poor righteous man is more successful to the Lord than a famous rock star or a high-dollar athlete who ignores the Lord. The world and the Lord do not see things the same way. Secondly, the joys of this world are nothing like the blessings of heaven. The Revelation letter is not about how to get by here on earth. It's not about how to make life easier, nicer, or find joy here. The message over and over is about heaven. The doors of heaven are open. The messages come from heaven. Signs from heaven. Angels are sent from heaven. The powerful Romans thought that they had the world by the tail. They could conquer anyone. They had wealth like no one else. But none of that lasted. Oh, we can get so caught up in today that we forget about tomorrow. The filled schedule of now can take our eyes off the blessings of heaven. Thirdly, while these struggling Christians were powerless to change the destiny of the world power, God wasn't. And sometimes what we face is greater than we are. Cancer, family trials and troubles, turmoil in our hearts. We can feel overwhelmed and even defeated. Those early Christians had no defense against an oppressive government, but there was little that they could do. But God can do all things. The king's heart can be moved by God, the scriptures tell us. God raises up kings and removes kings. God doesn't need a fleet of chariots. God doesn't need a vast army. The angels of God have proven that. A boy with a rock brought down a warrior giant. God took care of Pharaoh's mighty army without firing a shot. He enclosed water around them, and that was it. God has scared armies by sounds in the night. He has opened prison doors and allowed his people to walk right past guards. By ourselves, we are helpless. But greater is he who's in us than he who's in the world, John writes. This same John was showing terrifying dragons, beasts with multiple heads, locusts that fly out of the abyss. But he was also showing the saints of God surrounding the throne of heaven. He was showing the victorious saints singing the song of Moses, a victory song. Fear leads to doubt. Fear feeds worry. And fear is what can cripple our faith. I don't know how is answered by God's got this. I don't know when is answered by in his time. I don't understand is answered by he's got the whole world in his hands. A sign from heaven. Marvelous. It sounds like one of our hymns. There's a great day coming, a great day coming. That song ends with, there's a sad day coming, a sad day coming. What makes something marvelous is which side of God you're on. What makes a day great is which side of God are you on. Marvelous was the word in our verse today. Thank you so much for listening.